Hey, and welcome to the Start Chat. This is episode 2, where I interview Cole Escovedo, a WEC and UFC MMA veteran. How are you doing today, Cole?
Oh, not bad. It's one of my rare days off, so I'm part laziness and part adulting. And I got to drop my car off at the shop to get the AC unit looked at, and then I did dishes, and then I played PUBG. So it's been a productive day.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. And you're my very, very first interview, so I'm so excited.
Oh, nice. Good deal. I love being part of inaugural things, dude.
And to kind of reevaluate my podcast, it's the Start Chat, which everything starting, everything beginning. That's something that I've always been intrigued and passionate about is how do people get from A to B? Mm-hmm. How do they start their journey? So Cole, for those that don't know, could you give us a little bit of your background in MMA?
Oh man, I started doing MMA as far as a sport itself back in like '96 with like jiu-jitsu and stuff, and then kind of got into it from there. I've been doing martial arts since I was like 6. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since, as far back as I can remember. Not as active as I would like to be these days, but I've spent pretty much a good third of my life doing it. I'm only going to be 37 this year, and I think I spent like over 12 years doing that stuff.
Wow. That's insane. Yeah, a third of your life has been dedicated to the sport.
Yeah, just the sport alone. Yeah, just MMA alone. That's not even counting martial arts. I think I've been doing martial arts as far as involved in that since I was like 6.
Wow. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And so how did you get started? Was that something that your family has been into? Something you just wanted to take
martial arts?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really anything my family was really involved in. My dad was a welder and my mom was involved in law, so it didn't really it never really came up as a family practice thing. It was more so for self-confidence and personal protection back in the day, I think, most likely. We got bullied a lot, me and my brother. We had really long hair and stuff, so we got bullied a lot. So it was more for, like, defending yourself and, build self-confidence, things like that.
Yeah, and that's something, I love MMA. It's my favorite sport, and I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old daughter, so as soon as she's able to, I'm putting her in martial arts because this, just like you said, it's a confidence builder. It's something where if you don't use it until you need it, type of confidence that comes with it. I think martial arts, any kid should go into it. Any kid, every kid, and even teaches respect.
Totally. It's great. It's great for the young ones when they're building self-confidence and things and the ability to put in good work ethic. It builds great work ethic values. So no, yeah, it's 100%. If you have an interest in putting your kids in, I highly suggest it. Just don't force them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's it doesn't really pan out if you kind of make them to do something.
But forcing that stuff, man, negative.
Yeah, it's at least my heart that she'll be involved in it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your first big journey in WEC. How did that go, and what was the journey like with WEC?
Oh man, that stuff's been, dude. That's Reed Harris, Scott Adams. Those guys were like Like when you think pioneers of MMA, and you don't automatically think of like Reed Harris and Scott Adams, you don't know about old school MMA. That's just, if you can think of Chuck Liddell, Pat Miletich, Boss Rutan, all those guys, things like that. If you can think of those names, but you can't think of Reed and Scott, well, you're not thinking big enough. Those guys literally helped pave the way for what the MMA you see today was like the foundation guys like them, Paul Smith, all those guys back in the day, back when the dark ages of MMA was around. They kind of helped build, brick and lay foundation for what you see today. So it was like a learning experience for everybody. But I remember when I got involved, Reed came to the gym at Pacific over on Bullard and Marks. It's actually, you know where the D-Throne is right now, over on Bullard?
Yeah, in Fresno, yeah.
Yeah, it's across the street from where that is. That's where the original PMA used to be. It was across the street. So he came in there. I was running a jiu-jitsu class, and he's like, hey, I've got these flyers. I want to put them out. And I was wondering if I can talk to Cole. And I go, well, I'm Cole. And he goes, hey, I want to talk to you and touch base, and bring you some flyers and make sure everything's still good for like, I think it was he either said like next week or like 2 weeks from that or something like that, like a couple of weeks. And I was like, yeah, totally. Good. Everything good to go for what? Like I had no clue what he was talking about. Well, it turns out that I had started training like a little bit of MMA just to kind of like stay in shape. And I wasn't really looking for fights. I was in the police academy. I just graduated. And I think I was like 19, and I was just trying to find a way to stay in shape, and MMA kept me in shape. Well, my coach at the time went and Matt Smith, he was the coach at the time, he went and set me up with a match. Like, yeah, dude, they were looking for like a last-minute replacement for Terry Dull's opponent. His opponent had like gone through like a fucking car windshield or something. Oh crap! I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to cuss. My bad.
That was fine. I can get that out.
Okay, cool. My bad. I'll check those. So his opponent had gone through a car windshield, so they were scrambling to find like this last minute opponent. It was the Clash of the Titans 2. I think it was like the second WEC show, and it was like one of the early, like they still called it like no holds barred, cage fighting action and stuff. Like it was still considered like cage fighting. Now people just refer to it as MMA. They refer to it as mixed martial. It's got a sport now, like when you say the NFL or something. So back then it was still like no holds barred. It was just cage fighting. And so they were scrambling to find this opponent, and I guess they had hit up Matt and said, hey, do you have anyone that we might be able to use? We're trying to find this opponent for this kickboxer guy. And he was like, yeah, I got the perfect kid. So he signed me up and didn't freaking tell me about it. So,
wow.
So Reed comes in, he's like, yeah, I hope you're ready to go. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. And he was like, oh, well, you should talk to Matt. There's been some kind of a misunderstanding. So he told me, and it was like, yeah, bro, I figured it'd be a good thing. It's like the next step past, your jiu-jitsu and stuff, and it'll keep you competitive. And and he thought I was looking for something like more than just jiu-jitsu comps, and he can tell that I was getting kind of proficient at everything else. And he was like, you should try this. It'll be fun. It's like the next step up for your jiu-jitsu, and you can go even farther and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And that's how I got in. I ended up I ended up winning in the first round on that. That was how I got started in MMA. It wasn't even from like, I started training and then like had a goal. It was just, I was already involved in training period, and somebody else signed me up. That's how I got started. It was like Gandalf tossed my name into the goblet of fire and didn't tell me about it. It was just like,
well,
man,
that is the crazy story.
I'm gonna get killed. It's Dumbledore. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get killed. It's Dumbledore. I don't want to piss anybody off, dude. It's Dumbledore. I said Gandalf. It's Dumbledore. I'm gonna get in trouble. That's like Captain Picard, like the captain of like the Millennium Falcon or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're gonna hear about that one.
Yeah, okay. Somebody's gonna be like, actually, that's not Gandalf. That's Dumbledore. He's actually inaccurate. No, yeah, don't crucify me, guys. That's all there is to it. So it was like that. Like I had no idea what was happening. So it was cool though. When we went, the best part about that was we went and nobody showed up. Like not for the crowd, but like backstage, like nobody from the team was there. Nobody. And I was backstage warming up, and I think I was back there, and the only person back there I think was like my mom. Like there was like two of our teammates, I think like Dan Camarillo and Jason Hannon at the time. They were, I've known those guys since I was like knee high to a duck, and they were in the crowd. And I think they came backstage at one point and were like, hey, where is everybody? I was like, dude, nobody's here. And they were like, all right, well, if you need anybody, let us know. We'll come back and we'll pummel with you. We'll roll with you. We'll get you warmed up or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was sitting there, and this was like old school back in the day where like there wasn't like trailers and dressing rooms and stuff. There was like a trailer for the producer company. There was like a trailer for the ring girls and like a trailer for like the medical staff. And that was like it, if you were lucky.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there watching my guy warm up on pads. This guy's like 6 foot something. He's lean, he's big, and he's just rocking on these Thai pads. And I'm just like, well, this was a mistake. Nobody backstage. Yeah, dude, that's all I'm thinking, dude. And I remember my mom, she looked at me, she goes, we can leave if you want. She's like, this isn't anything. Well, we can leave. This is more than you thought it was going to be. We can leave if you want. And I was like, you know what? I'm here. Everybody's expecting me. I'm kind of already committed to it. So we're not gonna bail. We're just gonna do it, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? So we ended up going out there. I think Matt or somebody or Jason. I think nobody ended up showing up or something. I think they showed up like last second or something. Like there was traffic or something goofy. I can't remember what it was. They showed up last second. I ended up winning that fight. And then I think I ended up popping like the guy's neck out, or he rolled funny or something when I had him in a triangle, and I like popped his back out or something. I thought I crippled the guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought I crippled the guy in front of his family, dude. I had like it did not sit well with me. And I'm telling Matt, I'm like, I'm never doing this again, dude. This is insane. This is way more than I thought it would be. And he's like, no, it was a freak accident. Don't worry. Little I come to find out, 12 years later, that sport's like the most brutal thing I've seen next to football.
And this was all in WEC 2 or is that WEC 3?
So this would have been probably my first fight would have been in WEC 2, I think. I don't even think it was called WEC back then yet. I think it was still called like Extreme Cage Fighting or something. But this was like the second show that they had done, or third show they had done at the Palace. Everything was starting to get their feet wet. Palace was just barely starting to branch out of boxing with the promoter they had there time. He was like the promoter for the casino and their sports section and stuff, and he was like running all big league boxing stuff out there, pay-per-views and stuff like that. So they were already trying to find something new, and MMA was becoming like the next like combat sport. And so they were like, hey, let's get in on this. And between Christian, Scott, and Reed, dude, they had like whatever secret Powerpuff Girl formula they came up with back then, man. I don't know what they did, but they poured it into a cup and everybody drank it, dude, and it was the best Kool-Aid ever, because that was like MMA in California. If you wanted to get to the UFC, you literally had to go and fight at the Palace. There was almost like no other way around it in the day. Like if you were in California and you wanted to get to the show, like the Palace was it. If you hadn't fought at the Palace, you hadn't fought anybody. It was really weird back then.
And that's insane too, because when I just started kind of viewing MMA, the only way I was able to watch were reruns of WEC, and they were like Miguel Torres, and they had the Tap Out show, if you remember that, where they went around, and Dodson was on there, Damasio Page, and the Tap Out combined with WEC. I was like, where have I been this whole time? Like, where was MMA at? And this was all the way with.
That was the exposure you were getting from, I think it was Spike.
Spike, yes.
And that was all Miguel Torres, all those guys, man. Those were all post Zuffa purchase of WEC.
Yeah.
If you go back into the day before, I think before UFC bought them, they were on. If you wanted to watch WEC, you had to go to like HDNet. I think was the channel you could watch it on. And
that was it.
And that was what got them that exposure. And then Tap Out Crew being there was a big part of that too, because that got them more exposure. And then eventually UFC came along and said, hey, we're going to buy this show and we're going to move it to Vegas. And they bought the WEC and they moved it. And that's when you got the cool looking blue gloves came into play, which those were pretty cool. Those blue gloves, and then you got the Miguel Torreses and stuff. That was right around the time Faber became, kind of like the image for you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's all you would see is Uriah Faber. All the reruns, I would watch all the Uriah Faber fights. Miguel Torres. I'm trying to think of the other notable ones, but
there was Cerrone was way back in the day, if you remember. Donald Cerrone.
Oh yeah, Donald Cerrone. I remember I'm not sure if that was WC or not, but Showtime Pettis did the walk around.
He was on the WC.
To Hendricks, and I
think that was against
Benson
Henderson. That was a
Benson Henderson. Yes.
Yeah, that was 100%. That was at the I want to say that was at the Pearl or the Hard Rock.
And those fights, was it a smaller cage as well?
Yeah, it was a noticeably smaller cage back then.
Yeah.
Dude, you compare that to the UFC cage or like a Dream Ring or something, man, those things are huge. when you go into a lake and the lake doesn't look that big until you get in it, and then you look across the water and it looks never ending. That's what that UFC ring's like. That's how big it is. It's like swimming in an ocean compared to like the old WEC one.
Yeah, and it's definitely notable. I mean, even on TV, it was like they're pretty close together. Just starting out, you take 2 steps and you're already at your opponent. UFC, you're taking 10 steps just to get to them.
Oh my God, yeah. And then you've got the referee in there, so you got a third body in there taking up space. It's ridiculous.
So let's talk about WEC 5 Halloween Havoc, where you win the featherweight championship, the inaugural championship. How was that? Can you explain the experience there?
That was the Perez fight, yeah?
Yes, Bella Perez.
Yeah, there was a lot. That was interesting. That was way back in the day, back when if you wanted to prove that your fight gym was the best, because then now fast forward from the Terry Dole fight, you fast forward a couple years. Now you've got the sport at a point now, especially locally, where if you wanted to prove your gym like the best jiu-jitsu or best fighting or whatever, or basically just the way you promoted your gym, you go out to the battles and you do have fights. So it was kind of a way for you to showcase your team's ability to say, this is why you should be training at our gym. This is why you should come, work out with us. And I had remembered they asked me if I would fight for the title, and then I think they asked if I would fight Phil. And because they were having a shortage of finding opponents in the IFC, I think Paul ended up putting up the IFC belt as well, because they wanted to combine the belts at the time. They were trying to consolidate the sport down. They were trying to get it more, streamlined. They wanted people to have linear champions, not, champions everywhere. And so they were having a hard time finding him opponents because at the time, Phil was picking dudes up and throwing them out of the ring at Table Mountain. So, they were having a hard time finding him because the kid was a beast. He was just a good brawler, and he was a solid, high level wrestler as far as the fighting went back then. He just really heavily relied on that, and he was just able to dominate. And he was just a scrapper. He was just an all around tough kid. And we ended up taking that fight, and the background of that fight, I think at the time he was either I don't know if he was just hanging out with actively involved, bangers, or if he was associated with them, or what his relationship was to them. But there was dudes showing up at my work, telling us they were going to shoot up our gym, and all kinds of crazy stuff around this fight, man. And it became a really big rivalry between our team and their team for some reason. And then we show up at the venue, and they had extra cops there and stuff, saying that they had gotten word that they were gonna shoot and stuff. It was just a real intense whole scenario. We had sheriff's deputies backstage in the trailers, we had sheriff deputies backstage, and CHP and stuff. And it was all I was probably up to that point the biggest fight I think I'd probably been a part of. As far as the event and the whole point of it, because half the people were there for me, and half the people were there for him as far as the crowds and stuff. And it was just a small outdoor tent venue. It wasn't the bigger outdoors one they have now. It was inside kind of a smaller place. So I think it fit maybe 1,000 people, maybe 1,500 fit inside the small tent place. And everybody was just crammed in there, and it was insane. I don't know if you've seen the whole walkout video, but it's insane in that place, man.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It was more it was like I said, it was the first time I'd ever been part of a fight that big, that important kind of thing, since I had started fighting. It actually mattered. I was actually doing really well in MMA. I had kind of found a niche, I kind of felt like I had found something that I was supposed to be doing. And so I was kind of on an upswing, and then this fight came along, and this was supposed to be one of the first real test fights. You know what I mean? This is going to be the first time we really find out where we stood. And it went in our favor. It went really well. So
yeah, and you were at 5-0 at that point, and fighting for yourself and for, I mean, that's big enough. On top of everything else, to have definitely a crazy time.
Insane time.
Yeah. So let's go all the way to. And you had an impressive record at 11-1. coming to 2005. So you started back in 2001, and here you are, 2005, with an 11-1 record. At that point, and where does that mental and physical fatigue kick in? I mean, you're riding a huge high. WEC 19. You're gonna fight Uriah Faber to defend your title. Can you explain kind of the fatigue or any mental, like, how do you prepare yourself continuously throughout the years? Because MMA is the most brutal sport there is. I mean, it's just you and another person trying to knock each other's lights out. Can you explain a little bit?
It's hard. It's different for everybody. Everyone's got their own approach to it. Everyone's got their own procedure. If you were to ask Mike Pop, he'd say that my approach is like the laziest of all of them, and that it'll be, I could write a book on the book title would be How to Not Train and Still Win Titles. That would be the name of the book if Pop had to name it. So I kind of fell a little short in the work ethic department, but when it came to the Faber one, it was a little different. It was, I think I was actually in Nebraska for a couple weeks before that fight, leading up to like days before. I had to go out of town, so to say. There was a lot of distractions going on, and but it was a big fight. Like I said, it was up until the start of my career. The Phillip one had been big, and then this would have been like another huge milestone fight. It was supposed to be, like I said, another consolidations of stuff. They were supposed to solidify everything together. They wanted to start bringing a little more mainstream to it, so they started to say, hey, we're going to bring in, I think he was Gladiator and King of the Cage's belt guy at the time. And they were going to start tying the belts together, and they wanted to get people to take it more seriously and stuff. So they were like, hey, we're going to have this guy come in. He's got these two belts, and we're going to have him come in and fight your guy, and we can start just having one champion for the sport itself. So this was like when the 145s and 135s were right about the time to start taking off, because they were just barely starting to get noticed and stuff.
Yeah, and WC, correct me if I'm wrong, were all smaller weights, right? There wasn't a heavyweight. I think it went as far as, I can't remember the highest weight class in WC.
Yeah, when the WEC came around, they weren't really focused on extra weights. Everybody else had kind of knocked their organizations in the light. You had a lightweight, you had a welterweight, I think a middleweight, you had a heavy, and I think that was about it for most of the organization at the time. But then WC came in and they started throwing on like 135 and 145 and 155 fights like consistently, like mostly with their cards and stuff.
And in 2009, actually, Cole, when did you get an injury? I remember there was a point in your career where you had a huge injury that kind of sidelined you for quite a bit of time. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that was that staph infection. It was in 2007, I think. Yeah, I want to say it was like in 2007, man. That sidelined me for like 3 years. Realistically, that should have been the end of the career right there, and everybody pretty much assumed it was. I ended up with a staph infection in my arm, and made its way into my spinal cord. It turned into a big old medical malpractice lawsuit. It was a big old thing. Like, I couldn't walk for a year, and then I was able to start walking again. And I mean, there was no real expectation of me returning to fighting at all. And then slowly started to put myself back in that circle of life, and then eventually it was just like, hey, I think I can do it, and decided to go and try another fight and went from there, really.
Wow. I mean, so you weren't able to walk? Oh, man, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I could imagine it either until it happened. It was surreal.
And yeah, because actually in Fresno, you fought during Disturbing the Peace. And I actually was there to watch you fight. So to see that was in 2007, I wouldn't have saw that at all. And that's when UFC was getting pretty big. We had Forrest Griffin, of all people, who was in Fresno. We were signing autographs. You were fighting. I had a great time. But
that was a good spot, man. Yeah, that was a good one. That was Jason Weiner and Rick Marigan were throwing on that card at the time. That was okay. I think that was the first time I fought in Fresno. I think it was the first time I fought in Fresno, and I think Strikeforce was the second time I fought in Fresno.
Yeah. The next following fight was in Fresno too. Yeah. And that was crazy because it was an outdoor fight and I was near the fairgrounds and people were, I mean, this was kind of, I think I was wearing a tap out shirt. So it was kind of, dated in a while, but, you know, I heard people calling you out. Fight me next. And I was like, who are you? He's like, I'm so-and-so from this team. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, man. And it's always been that way ever since back in the day. I think it was just people wanted to, I don't know, man. It's like people either just wanted to punch me in the face or they wanted to high five me. It's always been weird in that sport. It was like, man, it's like if you didn't high five the right person, you were an asshole, and it's just what it is, man. It's fighting. It's its own lifestyle, not just the sport itself, but the fans, the vendors involved in it, things like that. It's a whole entity in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few other friends that are in the business, so to speak, as well, and it's very like that. It's business. I mean, you fight, you put your body on the line, but you have to mind your P's and Q's and have to do certain things at a certain time. It's like any sports industry.
There's more to it than just punching and kicking if you want to be successful, that's for sure.
Exactly. And that's why, you know, especially, you know, having someone that's gone through it all and has that huge experience. So I'm so happy of interviewing you and being the first one is, you know, you could give that advice to the young fighters.
Man, totally.
So how
as far as advice, you know, I would just say plan for the short term and plan for the long term. So many people get into it going, oh, I'm going to fight for X amount of years and do this and do that, and I'm going to go, and they don't plan for the short term of, if they think MMA is just going to be it. They don't plan for the short term of, hey, what if I blow my knee out? You know what I mean? They don't plan for that.
Yeah, that medically sidelines you from 9 months to a year, and that's it. I mean, I don't know how the UFC structure is now. I don't know how that plays out. I'm not sure if you get the one paycheck and you have to divide that by 12 months in order to survive. It's a brutal sport. I mean,
yeah. If you're not fighting, unless you're in an organization like the UFC, and even then, I don't even know if they just because they have you rostered how it works. I know it's just per fight, but they might have a different plan now. But if you're not with the UFC and you're with some other side organization, it's even worse. If you're not fighting, you're not getting paid. So you always have to have, you know, like something that makes you a consistent income. Fighting should be like a fun hobby on the side that pays you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, look at Mighty Mouse. I mean, what was he doing? Construction before he got big? Yeah. Dodson was found on the tap out though, luckily. Some of these guys in the Ultimate Fighter end up making it big, but they're leaving their jobs for X amount to be on the show.
Even Matt Hume told Mighty Mouse. Matt Hume remembers he was doing an interview one time. He was like, I remember when I told, you know, Mighty Mouse, you know, you need to quit your job. This is what you're going to be doing for a living. Like, that's how good he saw him. He saw how good he is, the potential he had, and he was like, dude, just stop your job. You're done. This is what you're going to do. And that dude's just been insane. You know, the guy could make that. I feel bad for Mighty Mouse to an extent, man, because he's like the little guy. And that guy has literally the ability, if you were to make him the same size as John Jones, if you made him the same size as Robbie Lawler, if you made him the same size as just about anybody, I think that dude would wreck them. Like, really, the only thing holding back that guy's earning potential is that I think it's just because he's the little champion, and nobody really focuses on that for some reason. The UFC's done all they can to like promote him. I mean, to the point where they put him in like a commercial, his own commercial for like was it Metro PCS or something like that.
Yeah, so and even that was the Stage North Cut, and
exactly. Well, they haven't really been able to do anything with Stage either, so. But it's just
But
that the guy's earning potential is so much, and he's being so short that people aren't giving him. I really don't think Mighty Mouse is getting the kind of money that guy should be getting, which I'm sure he gets paid really well too. But that guy could be making like stupid money, and it's just because he's a small.
I fully agree.
He's just a little guy. That's it. If he were like 170, the guy'd be so rich, it'd be silly.
Yeah, he pretty much needs to hold 2 titles at once in order to be taken serious, because he's dominated. He's the only champion of 125. I mean, it's been up for how many years now? DJ.
No? Is
yeah.
it DJ? So now,
yeah,
TJ would be a good fight. Now, see, here's the advantage: is you'd have to make Mighty Mouse and TJ the same size, which I know everyone looks at those weight classes and goes, well, they are. Well, they're really not. So Mighty Mouse is like a natural 125er, probably walks around like 135, 140 maybe. Dillashaw probably walks around like 160. Like, that's massive. Yeah. So I think it would be, I would really be interested to see that fight. I think Mighty Mouse, it depends if the fight was at 135, I think Mighty Mouse would be allowed the ability to kind of like keep some of his weight class on, instead of cutting more for the 25 limit. And I actually think that'd be a good fight. I think they could unify those belts, and I actually think people would probably instantly take Mighty Mouse seriously if he beat a guy like Dillashaw on pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I think that's something that they've been working on too, if I'm not mistaken. And
Were they going to do that, or are they going to do the rematch with Garbrandt, which I've heard nothing about?
That's true. I've heard both. I prefer the champion versus championship. Mighty Mouse goes to 135 and tries to get that belt. Totally. I think that has so many more options. Even if he vacates the belt for a little bit and they do an interim 125, just to get something. And I hate interim belts. I really do. I don't even know who the true champions are.
They serve no purpose.
They are. But I think if it allows Mighty Mouse to go to 135, this is the only time I'm really for it.
No, yeah, and I agree. I'm never really for a champion moving up in weight class unless there's a specificness to it. And getting both belts would be a totally justified, reason to do it, other than just sitting around and biding time. Because every fight he has is one less fight that he has left on the list of fights that he has in him. Does that make sense? Yeah,
age will be there. Will catch up to you.
It's not so much age as it is you can only put your body through so many battles, and granted, his other battles. Period. It's like every fight he has almost goes to a decision sometimes, and I think that's kind of one of the other things that kind of holds him back. He's not really, he's not quite high on the highlight reel of finishes. I mean, he's got really cool things in his fights, like he slammed a dude and then slammed him or picked him up and slammed him into an armbar. Like, he's got cool highlight reel stuff, but they're not all finishes. Like, he's got a lot of decisions, if I remember right, in his record. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's coming more into the GSP kind of, if you don't finish him like Ronda Rousey in the first round, people are kind of not giving you the credit that you deserve. People love, the majority of MMA fans, maybe not the majority, I think it's kind of growing, but they still want that boxing knockout. And I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cole, but I think a lot of people want that flash.
Yeah, they do. Even with the excitement of MMA as a full sport, people still kind of want that quick first round knockout. His last one, didn't he pick up the guy and slam him right into an armbar? So it's
he picked him up, slammed him, and in the middle of him slamming him, got in position to do an armbar, which is in 3 seconds, which was insane. He's already moving. He's playing chess while you're playing checkers.
Exactly, and I saw that, and I remember thinking to myself that I don't feel that was a random thing. I feel like he's picked dudes up in the gym and slammed them like that before and got the armbar. That's a move he does. He's learned that he can pick them up, and the way he picks you up kind of sets you up for the armbar. And he's just kind of I bet you that happened in the gym one time, and they're like, holy shit, do that again. And he just kind of did it on repose. So now when he picks you up, he's just there and looking for it because he knows it's there now. There's so many positions that I've seen in life from fighting that if you don't look before the opening, you're going to miss that the opening's there. So if you're not looking for the potential armbar, which nobody looks for an armbar from a body slam, but if you think about it and you're looking for it, it's there. And a guy like Ken Camarillo would probably agree with me all day.
Yeah, which is a great point. I think when Thug Rose was getting more recognition and entering the Ultimate Fighter, she was almost known for this jumping triangle she used to do in her training camp. So, you know, it's one of those things where it would be insane to pull off, and it'd be cool if you pull it off, just like we talked about with the Pettis Henderson, you know, cage kick. But you see it actually in a fight is unbelievable.
No, you see dudes screw around with it in the gym all the time and in sparring and stuff, but then you actually see somebody pull it off live on TV. You're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, you know, you being with that injury and coming back, did you ever picture yourself in the UFC? And how was it when you actually got your chance at UFC?
I mean, the goal from once we actually started taking it like seriously, the goal was always UFC, but the first goals were to just get back in and see what we could do and see how far my body could go. Getting the call from the UFC, I think stemmed from like pissing off Sean Shelby and people, because I got, you know, I just making waves was how I did it really. I just started making waves, because I had beaten one guy and then he got through. And I think I fought a guy in Japan, but I lost, and then he got into the UFC. And it was like at a point where I was like, crap, all you got to do is fight me, and if I beat you, you still get in the UFC. Like, I left one dude, I fought a guy and left him snoring on the canvas, and he got in the UFC, or the Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, what the crap? So then I saw they, like, signed some other guy, and I was like, well, I looked at him, and I was like, that dude hasn't fought in, like, 2 years. What the shit? You're signing people just to do it or not? And I made these waves, and then Sean Shelby called me up, and he didn't seem too happy. He was like, what are you doing, man? You're making headaches for me. You're making waves and blah, blah, blah. And then he said, all right, well, you want in, I got you in. And he tells me about the Barral fight, and they were looking for a replacement. It was, like, less than 2 weeks out. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you know, I'll be honest, this kid's like 28-0. And he's like, this little Brazilian beast kid. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. And so he was like, you know, but if you take the fight, you know, we'll guarantee that we take care of you. You know, we'll make sure that you get a couple fights and this and that. And I was like, okay, super short notice. It's against, like, this undefeated Brazilian kid. He was, like, on Jose Aldo's team at the time. And I was like, this sounds like all bad. But what are you going to do? Tell him no? So you tell him no, you don't hear from him for like ever. So I said, yeah. And that's how I got into the UFC, was by making waves, which I don't necessarily suggest for everybody, but you know, every now and then you kind of have to. If you find yourself kind of plateaued out and you're promoting yourself, or you feel that you're not really getting any more notoriety and getting the phone calls for fights and not really getting, you know, the traction going, you never want to get stalled out. You want to always be moving on to the next one. Then you got to kind of start making waves.
Yeah, and you see that a lot. I mean, you see a lot of Twitter beef. You see a lot of interviews where they, you know, they call out somebody, or you pretty much have to make your opportunity by pissing someone off. That's what it seems like a lot.
True. Yeah, agreed. But the problem is, these day and age, you've got so many people doing it, but the problem is they don't win fights as well.
That's true. That's very true.
They just call people out, but I like barely beat the last guy they fought, and it's like
So with your last fight being in 2011, what have you done? Are you still involved in MMA in any aspect? Are you teaching? Are you doing anything else with MMA?
Not teaching. I'd like to. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think I'm not in a position to really open my own gym. I think there's plenty of good gyms in town as it is, and I'm not, you know, trying to compete with that anyway. And I don't really have the money. But it's something I wouldn't mind doing, you know, teaching something fun I would do. I've done a little bit of coaching here and there. I don't really keep too active anymore in it. I go over to train with Pop and those guys over at Dethrone, get some rolling in, some pad work and stuff with some of my buddies over there, but that's about it. I haven't really stayed too heavy in MMA. I kind of just, after the last fight, just kind of like, I was on the same path with everybody else, but then I just kind of like walked off the path while everybody kept walking, and just nobody really noticed I had stepped off, so I just kind of like stayed off the path and in the shadow, kind of, so to speak. I never really did, you know, it always drives me nuts. People always do these things where they go on, the internet, and they're like, oh, I'm going to retire and this and that. And it's like, well, dude, what do you need to tell people for? Like, you telling people that you're going to retire is your cry for help, like asking for people to tell you, don't do it, don't stop, and this and that, and you can keep doing it. You know, it's like, you know, like when somebody goes online, and this is going to sound so insensitive, so bear with me, people. But when somebody goes online and like talks about hurting themselves or talks about killing themselves, there's people who don't say anything and they die in silence every single day. So for people to go on there and do that, it's a cry for help too, but then you got so many people that are doing it for attention. I kind of see it when I see people that go on the internet and social media and stuff, and they talk about retiring and this and that. It's like, if you want to retire, dude. Move aside. There's 50 other dudes waiting to take your spot. Don't go on the internet and look for people crying out. If you think you should retire because you think you should. Don't retire because people aren't paying attention to you or people aren't like saying, oh, you should do it. If you don't feel you want to do it, then retire. But don't make a big deal out of it. If you think you should retire, either do or don't. You don't need to go online and look for praise and reassurance and stuff. But people say, oh, you should quit. You suck. Because all that's going to do is if you were thinking about quitting, you're definitely going to quit now. When if you had just taken a couple days and just stayed away from social media and thought about it for what you really want out of it, maybe you would have kept going. But I see people do that. They're either looking for praise or they make the mistake of doing it and people put them down and they end up talking themselves out of continuing. So I always tell people, if you're questioning it, don't go on social media about it. You need to back up fights too if you're going to go on social media, if that's a high point.
Yeah, and if you're questioning about it, well, there's your answer. And sometimes the journey ends.
I wasn't feeling it, so I just kind of, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. I didn't really feel I was that important or anything, or that I should like go on and make some big retirement speech. I just stopped. You know what I mean? So I just
and you were in it for 10 years. So
you're done. Just stop. I just stepped aside. I actually got really lucky. It was actually not too short after the UFC Caraceres fight, the UFC on Fox card. That was my last one. That I had some friends at basically where I work now. I kind of lucked out. I stumble into stuff, Alex. That's kind of what I do. I just kind of stumbled into the job and right place, right time, and that's kind of where I've been since. This is like what I do now is like I look at it and I joke with people. I tell them this is my retirement from fighting. Is the job I do now. And I always tell people at work, I'm always joking with them, like, this is my retirement. This list all has to And they laugh, and they don't realize it until they remember, oh, shit, that's right. Cole's already spent like a large portion of his life like actually doing something with his life, and this is just what I want to do now. So, and it's fun, man. You see me on my videos when we have big tournaments and stuff. That stuff's easy, man. I get in front of a camera all day. It's fun.
You need a job in broadcasting or UFC press or something.
Man, something. I've been doing commentary work, which has been really fun too. I like doing the commentary work with the 559 fights. They've been letting me come out and do commentary work on their stream shows.
That's right. I forgot you did that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's you're perfect for that.
Oh, hell yeah. Just like I said, it's an area in which I've got the 10-year plus experience so I can actually talk about what I know about and not sound like a guy guessing at it or like, oh, what's that move? It's like I can actually talk about stuff and I can actually relate to it a little better. And I mean, aside from that, you give me a mic and a game show and we're set, bro.
Nice. Now, with all your journey, did you want to talk a little bit about your book that you've done?
Yeah, sure, totally. No, the book that came out a couple years ago, and it's pretty much like just a written version of kind of like what we've been doing today. It talks about a lot of the past experiences, things with the old MMA, things in my own personal life. It talks about the staph infection. It just goes into a lot more detail and has a lot more background to how I got from that first fight that I got signed up for and stuff that led up to that, and then everything from that, et cetera. It's just a lot of hit points in my life and my family's life and stuff. So it's actually a good read. I think what's funny is I saw it on, sounds like a plug. I saw it on, I think, Walmart.com one day. I picked it up. I think it was on Amazon.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Through the Cage Door from Paralysis to UFC. I think that's the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, through Cage Doors, I believe so.
Yeah, Through the Cage Door, my journey from paralysis to the UFC, and that was a good, like I said, and the title's like the title talks about just the UFC, but that's just what my main focus of the book was how I got from being paralyzed to the UFC, because the reality of it is, if you can go from being paralyzed to being on pay-per-view in front of tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, then realistically, the reach of any goal is a realistic reach. You can really achieve anything if you sacrifice, if you commit. And that's the big thing. People are like, oh, I'm so committed to it, and I've got all this energy and this and that. And they commit all this time, and they commit all this energy, but they never really sacrifice anything. They don't sacrifice personal time. They don't sacrifice family time. They don't sacrifice maybe personal financing. Maybe they don't sacrifice by not sleeping at night. There's just all kinds of things that are required to reach a goal. And people put in all kinds of time and energy, but rarely do they achieve it because they're not realizing the sacrifices that are required to make it. And you have to realize what those sacrifices are on early if you want to tackle those hurdles and be able to reach that goal.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was going to ask you what advice you would have for young MMA fighters. And the MMA game has really changed over the years. What would your other advice be for young MMA fighters?
Have a real job first. Have a side job. Have something that pays your bills. Go to school. Even if you're going to fight full time and train full time, we'll do an online school then, because you can't. It's hard. People will sit there and they'll tell them, well, you can't not be 100% committed to MMA. You can't not train full time. You can't do all this and expect to be successful. Agreed. But, like I said, if you blow your knee out in your second fight, there's no signing bonuses. There's no guaranteed, money. There's literally nothing. Unless you have a contract with like the UFC or Bellator, good luck. Nobody's gonna pay your bills. Nobody's gonna put food on your table. Nobody's gonna pay your rent. So you gotta kind of have, like I said, you gotta treat fighting as a full-time hobby that you want to do. And you have to have something else that is supplying your livelihood in the meantime, because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and people are going to be like, well, sacrifice. Well, you're going to sacrifice your family's livelihood for chasing a personal dream and ignoring the responsibilities that you have to your day-to-day life. And if you can't keep those all in focus, you're going to stumble. So it's hard. It's a balance. You can train full-time MMA and do all that and chase that dream, but you just got to be realistic that there's bills have to be paid. You can't just jump in day one and be like, oh, I'm going to be a professional. It doesn't work that way. So rent's still going to be due at the first. And if your first fight isn't for 6 months or a year, well, you better figure out something in the meantime, man. School and a real job are ways to do that and tackle that approach.
And that's so true too, because like we talked about, Mighty Mouse was a construction worker. Conor McGregor had to be supported by his girlfriend full time. Unless you have someone that's going to do that for you, it's got to be split. Just like any job, you go to college, but you still have the full-time job, and you're balancing both until you're able to get that degree to move forward in your job or get a promotion. People have to treat this like any other job. You got to put in the time to get promoted.
Exactly.
But definitely
sacrifice. Time and sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Cole. Through the Cage Door, I found it. My Journey from Paralysis to UFC is also on Amazon. Like $12 for a hard copy. So if anybody wants to hear more of Cole's journey, I encourage everyone that wants to go in this MMA journey to take a read. Thanks, Cole. Thanks for taking the time. It was a blast. Hearing, I think I said, oh, wow, like 1,000 times, so I apologize. It's just so crazy to hear your story. It's 10 years of going, stumbling upon your first match, winning a title, going to Japan for a fight, going to the UFC. It's just a crazy journey. And
it's right there, the word journey. That's exactly what describes it, man. When I'm 95, God willing, when I'm 95, 100 years old, I'm going to look back on all of that, and it's easily going to be described as a journey. And it all was, because a lot of that, who I am today and the values I have and my morals and values and how I see things, a lot of it was based on my time in fighting, because it exposed me to a lot of things and a lot of the world, too.
Yeah, that's amazing. just to hear everything again. I've known you for a few years now, and you're one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And to know that that you've gone through all this, and including the injury alone, would get people in a depressed state, and for you to come out of it and make it to the highest level of competitive sports there is much to be appreciative.
Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Cole. Well, thanks for taking the time. We almost hit an hour.
Nice.
This is amazing.
No, bro, it's easy when you're talking about fun stuff, man. Trust me, it's easy to lose track of time when you're talking about things that are just natural. They just come to you, and you've lived them and experienced them. It's super easy and fun. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be part of this podcast and your first jump into it and stuff. And I hope it keeps going forward for you, Amigo.
Thank you so much for listening to the Start Chat podcast. If you like this episode, please give me a like and a comment on all podcast platforms. And if you want to check out the rest of my podcasts, please go to www.thestartchat.com. And recently, I've started my own YouTube channel, The Start Chat. Please take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time. Take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time, take a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much, and until next time.